Welcome to the Alchemy Show.
Hello and welcome to the Alchemist Show. Today's segment we'll be talking about favorite TV shows.
Hey, I'm Ashley, and I'm here to talk about my two favorite TV shows. My first favorite TV show is The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, as you probably know, is about a man who's trying to survive in the wake of a zombie apocalypse and live another day. And over time, he loses people such as his wife and his best friend, but gains others such as Carol and Judith. And with Season 5 coming out soon, I'm extremely ecstatic. My second favorite TV show is Red Band Society. This show is my absolute favorite show of all time. I can relate to this show very easily. This show is about a kid who's in a coma, and he can hear people's thoughts as they sleep. The other kids in the hospital all have various diseases ranging from cancer to anorexia. This show gives me a whole new perspective on life, and the pilot episode was a major tearjerker. Now to John.
Hey listeners, John with two amazing comic book based TV shows that give a gritty, realistic feel to the genre. Both of these shows are relatively new and have a huge fan following. The first show I'll be talking about today is the new show on the CW named Gotham. This show takes place 20 years prior to the Batman showing up in Gotham. It follows the story of Detective Gordon, who everyone knows becomes Batman's greatest ally, Commissioner Gordon. It also shows the origin stories of Gotham's biggest villains, like Two-Face, the Riddler, the Penguin, and many more. With Detective Gordon, played by Ben McKenzie, tries to stay a clean cop and fix the city while dealing with corruption everywhere, and at the same time on his highest profile case in the city's history, the Wayne murders, as he also promises to find the murderer for their young son Bruce. Will Gordon be able to keep his head above water and not get swallowed up by this once great city? Tune in to find out. And now to my second show on this list, Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We all know the stories of Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and many other superheroes, but this is the first time we get a good look at the secret spy group known as S.H.I.E.L.D. The story starts off sometime after the invasion of New York in Avengers. Agent Phil Coulson, played by Clark Gregg, and his newly formed team of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents and a hacker must find clues about a mysterious group and someone who calls themselves the Clairvoyant. Will they be able to stop this group? And will Coulson find out how he really survived the events of Avengers? Tune in to find out.
We'll be right back after these important announcements.
What? You shouldn't listen to your music that loud. It could kill your hearing.
What?
Yeah, dude. You didn't know that?
No one ever told me.
Yeah. You could basically blow out your eardrums, and when you're like 30, you won't be able to hear.
But I want to hear.
But you shouldn't listen to your music that loud.
I'm sorry.
You should be sorry.
Can I still listen to it, though?
Yeah, just don't listen to it as loud.
How loud does it have to be to damage my hearing?
I think you'll know.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Don't blow out your ears, kids, because that'd be bad.
Yes, it would.
Parents know that the arts are an integral part of their kids' education. The arts help teach kids tolerance and openness, and they allow children to express themselves creatively and grow as individuals. The sad truth, however, is that today in America, kids spend more time at their lockers than they do in art classes. And every year, a little more art disappears from the curriculum. Play a part in your kids' education. Stand up and demand their fair share of art. For more information on what you can do, visit AmericansForTheArts.org. Because the less art kids get, the more it shows. Art. Ask for more. A public service message brought to you by Americans for the Arts and the Ad Council.
Hi, Matthew Skaggs here, and I'm going to talk about personally my two favorite shows of all time. The first one I'm going to talk about is Supernatural. The television drama is about two brothers, Sam and Dean, who were raised by their father John to hunt and kill all things that go bump in the night. After his wife, Mary, was murdered by evil supernatural being when the boys were young, 22 years later, the brothers set out on a journey, fighting evil along the way to find their recently missing father, who when they finally meet up with, reveals he knows what killed their mother, a demon, and has found a way to track and kill it. Meanwhile, Sam starts to develop frightening abilities that include death visions, visions of people dying before it actually happens. These visions are somehow connected to the demon who murdered his mother, and its mysterious plans that seem to be all about Sam. When their father dies, striking a deal with that very same demon that had killed his wife, the brothers, now alone and without their mentor, are determined to finish the crusade their father started. But disturbing revelations about Sam's part in. The creator of this show is Eric Kripke, and it stars Jared Padalecki, Jensen Ackles, and Jim Beaver. The show first premiered in 2005 and is now entering its 10th season, which will premiere Tuesday, October 7th on the CW. The last show I will be talking about is Arrow. Arrow is about Oliver Queen and his father who are lost at sea when their luxury yacht sinks, apparently in a storm. His father dies, but Oliver survives for 5 years on an uncharted island and eventually returns home. But he wasn't alone on the island, where he learned not only how to fight and survive, but also of his father's corruption and unscrupulous business dealings. He returns to civilization a changed man, determined to put things right. He distinguishes himself with the hood of one of his mysterious island mentors, arms himself with a bow, and sets about hunting down the men and women who have corrupted his city. This TV series stars Stephen Amell, Katie Cassidy, and David Ramsey. The show first premiered in 2012 and is now entering its 3rd season, which will premiere the day after Supernatural, which is Wednesday, October 8th on the CW. Now to Darian.
Hello, this is Darian Bauer with a couple of TV shows that are pretty good regardless of any plot twist. There is the new show called Forever, where a medical examiner that has died and come back to life a couple of times is now in present-day New York City, where he leads the NYPD to solve cases as he tries to solve the mystery of his own immortality. This show stars Lone Griffith as Dr. Henry Morgan, our immortal mastermind, also starring Judd Hirsch as his adopted son from an earlier life, and Adam Pasdar as Adam, an immortal like Henry that has lived for 2,000 years. The next show is not so recent, but is still running. Castle, a detective show where a writer named Richard Castle works with an NYPD detective known as Kate Beckett, as she tries to find her mother's killer. Starring Nathan Fillion as Richard Castle and Stana Katic as Catherine Houghton Beckett. I deeply enjoy the relationship between Castle and his daughter Alexis, whom he sometimes asks advice on a case if he is stumped. Over time, he and Detective Beckett have become romantically involved and try to get married, but the wedding is cut short when Castle is kidnapped and goes missing for 2 months.
Now to some more important announcements.
If you want to prevent crime in your neighborhood, here's a tip. Invite your neighbors in for a cup of coffee. Then you can talk about the potential problems you see on your streets and what you can do about them. You can even invite your local police officer to be a part of the conversation. Who'd have thought a cup of coffee can combat crime? Want to learn more? Go to weprevent.org for other ways to take a bite out of crime. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Justice, Crime Prevention Coalition of America, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council. Parents know that the arts are an integral part of their kids' education. The arts help teach kids tolerance and openness, and they allow children to express themselves creatively and grow as individuals. The sad truth, however, is that today in America, kids spend more time at their lockers than they do in art classes. And every year, a little more art disappears from the curriculum. Play a part in your kids' education. Stand up and demand their fair share of art. For more information on what you can do, visit AmericansForTheArts.org. Because the less art kids get, the more it shows. Art. Ask for more. A public service message brought to you by Americans for the Arts and the Ad Council.
And here's my favorite TV show, along with the possibility of another favorite TV show. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is currently my favorite TV show. It is currently into its second season, and during this season, Agent Coulson has sent out S.H.I.E.L.D. agents to find a stolen artifact from World War II. As they chase after Hydra, we can only wonder what else is going to happen as the season continues. The next episode is set to air on October 14th. The new show Stalker is looking pretty interesting, which is why I'm considering it to be a new favorite. After all, who doesn't find a good thriller interesting? Stalker is a new show on its way to CBS this month. In the first episode, LAPD's Threat Assessment Unit is chasing after a stalker with a particular love for fire. The main characters are Lieutenant Beth Davis and Detective Jack Larson. While both are working for the same cause, the motives are quite different. Tune in and see the season premiere on Sunday, October 5th. Now to my partner in crime, Brianna.
Hello, I'm Brianna Lucas, and I'm here on The Alchemist Show to talk to you about Once Upon a Time in Grey's Anatomy. Once Upon a Time is about a woman named Emma Swan with a troubled past and how she gave her son Henry up for adoption. On her 28th birthday, everything changed when 10-year-old Henry is in desperate need of Emma's help because he believes, from reading a book of fairy tales, that she is the daughter of Snow White and Prince Charming, and the product of true love, which means she can break the spell on a little town in Maine called Storybrooke, and it was released in 2011. Grey's Anatomy was released in 2005. It is a medical drama set at a fictional Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital in Seattle, and it is a series that covers the story of the interns and the residents at the hospital as they try to balance their personal lives with the demands of their medical training. The main character is Meredith Grey, who is married to a neurosurgeon at the hospital, and the show follows her life as a third-year resident. Well, that's all we have for today on The Alchemist Show. Thanks for listening.